Hi, welcome to day 6 of the What's the Stitch campaign. Today I am wearing my Beyond the Label t-shirt again, my denim button-up shirt kind of as a little jacket, my black pants because they're very comfy and stretchy and it's kind of a stay at home and finish my homework sort of Saturday, and my short black boots. So you've heard me probably talk about fair trade throughout the week when I reference sustainable clothing brands. So today I'm going to go over a little bit about what fair trade is, what some of the big fair trade organizations are, and how that relates to clothing, and how you should look at fair trade in terms of buying clothing. So first of all, fair trade, sort of a simple definition, is that it's a consumer's response to the inequities in the trading system that is in place in our world. So a lot of times in our current system, what we call in the US free trade, the most vulnerable people in the world, the small level producers, small farmers, garment factory workers, really do not receive any of the benefits of the products that they create. The money is very much taken up by middlemen in the system and big corporations at the top, and very little of it goes to the people and the communities where those products are made. So fair trade is a way of making sure that those people get their fair share of the profits and of the benefits from the goods that they produce. And in terms of And that can include better environmental standards of production for the environments of the people so that the communities benefit, that their rivers are not polluted and their ground is not polluted, and better safety standards, safe working conditions on farms and in factories, and that would include also limitations on not having child labor or no forced labor. It also improves social conditions because some of the profits, some of the money goes to social development in those areas, usually education and things like that, and also economic development because workers receive safe or fair living wages, receive a fair price for the quality of their product, receive a price that their product is actually worth, rather than a price that is very, very much underselling them for the work that they do and the products that they have. So some of the common fair trade products you might see are handicrafts, jewelry, art, things like that. Coffee, cocoa, sugar, you might see fruit like bananas, chocolate, flowers, gold is common, and of course clothing can be fair trade certified, although the system with clothing can be a little bit more complex. So some of the big fair trade organizations are Fair Trade International, World Fair Trade Organizations, Network of European Workshops, and European Fair Trade Association, and those four combine to make the group FINE, which works to standardize fair trade standards across the organizations because they all differ slightly. And some others you may recognize are Fair Trade USA, IMO, which has the Fair for Life label, Eco-Social, and Equal Exchange. And there are others to look for, and their logos can be easily spotted because usually they say fair or equal or something inside the logo, and you can always look one up. So in terms of clothing, it can be a little bit more complex than goods like coffee. Coffee is often grown in a community setting, which fair trade works very well for. It allows them to establish coalitions and as a community demand a fair price for their product. Clothing can be multi-layered, and that's why it's more complicated, because the fair trade certification needs to make sure that benefits are felt for not only cotton farmers and producers at the bottom of that production chain, all the way up to garment factory workers and the people who sew the clothes and finalize your clothing. So fair trade for clothing can be very complicated, and something can have fair trade cotton, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is safe for the garment workers to have sewn that they weren't dying with dangerous chemicals and things like that. So it's important to look at the entire supply chain because fair trade is not a perfect system. There are some inconsistencies, as I said, between how the different organizations certify, so it's important to familiarize yourself with that if you really want to learn more about what each organization certifies, as well as the complex process of clothing. And you can also be ethical without a fair trade certification. So it's important not to exclude brands that produce ethically or that provide fair trade products and that provide support for small producers without that fair trade certification, because that can be a barrier to entry and a barrier to support for those people. So though that is some of the benefits of fair trade, and also some of the things to keep an eye out for when looking for sustainable clothing brands. Fair trade, I think, is an amazing place to start when looking for an easy way to start buying sustainably in terms of clothing. Looking for those labels is a great, easy way to start looking at products and maybe buying a certain t-shirt over another when you see that label, or a certain chocolate bar over another when you see that label. So it's important to look at that, but also look past the system and look at specific products more in detail if that's something that you're really interested in. So thank you for watching day 6 of What's the Stitch. Tomorrow I'll be going through some of my favorite sustainable clothing brands in more detail. So come back tomorrow to watch that video, and thank you all for watching. Bye!